So I started a little project off a while ago, which I'll put a link up to later on, photographing dilapidated coastal buildings. So I'm going to put a place called Teignmouth, which is up on the South Devon coast. It's a very sort of old seasidey town. I'm basically up here shooting the pier, which you can see behind me. I'm going to shoot from, the sun's dipping down at the moment, I'm going to shoot from this side first, just to get the main pier, and it's a really nice sort of old building. Rusty old legs, a bit like mine, and yeah, it's quite photogenic. But the main reason I'm up here is to photograph the facade of the pier, which is very kind of oldie-worldy, a bit kitsch, and I'm just waiting for the sun to drop down so it goes dark and all the lights kind of light up. So I'm going to be shooting Kodak Ektar tonight, Kodak Ektar 100, which is my kind of nemesis film. It's I've shot quite a bit of it, but I never seem to get what I want from it, really. I've shot mainly sort of landscapes, a few buildings, but in daylight. So I'm hoping tonight that the changing conditions, basically like a night shot of a building all lit up, should be a little bit different for this film. So I'm hoping I kind of get the results that I'm after. Like I say, I've not been that entirely happy with it so far. I've ordered some Portra 160, which I'm hoping to kind of try out as well with this type of shoot. So I'm waiting for that to come through. But for now, like I say, Kodak Ektar tonight, just to see how I get on with it. Right, I'm all set. Film's loaded. I'm just going to go and actually frame up a shot now. So it's quite busy here tonight, which you think I'd be used to by now, but it still makes me a bit edgy, all these people wandering around. So I'm just going to get under here and see what I've got. It's quite a nice composition. It's got some of these posts in the foreground. I'll just spin you round to show you. So I've got these posts in the foreground as well as the pier. So I'm shooting kind of there right the way through. That little post out on the end there as well. Okay, focusing's pretty straightforward. I'm going to shoot at the f32 though, because I'm kind of side onto this shot, side onto the pier. So obviously I've got to get depth of field from right over this side right to the end. So f32 I think is going to be the order of the day. Just to close my lens up. So last minute tweaks just to make sure everything's level. I'm not using any filters tonight, so it's quite a straight on shot. The sun's dipped down now, which is good. That's what I wanted. A nice sort of subtle light. So basically I'm metering off the water just below the pier. Just kind of a nice mid-tone. I'm also taking readings off this building on the left hand side, because that's quite a nice grey tone. So f32, it's about half a second base reading, which sounds good to me. It's ISO 100 film, so don't want to go too crazy with the exposure. So half a second, basically ready to go. So basically my main shot, like I say, is the front of the building, which I'm hoping gets lit up when the light drops a little bit more. I normally like to shoot It's about 10 minutes away from full sunset, but I normally like to wait for about 15-20 minutes after sunset to get that nice balance of light. Bearing in mind I'm facing south as well, southeast, so obviously it'll get darker quicker that way. So I'm hoping for some nice subtle tones tonight. I don't want anything too harsh. Like I said, the light's quite nice now. There's a little bit of cloud out on the horizon, which will hopefully pick up a bit of light, but it's getting into that kind of blue hour now, so it's looking quite nice. So yeah, Kodak Ektar, my nemesis. I'm hoping, I haven't shot anything like this in this sort of light with Kodak Ektar, so just hoping I get the tones that I want from it. I'm so used to shooting transparency film, especially like Fuji Velvia, which is really, really punchy with the colours. So this is going to be a lot more subtle. So it's going to be interesting to see what this is like. I've taken a few frames as the light's been getting lower and lower, just to see the difference between them. Well, finally, I've got an image that I'm happy with on Kodak Ektar. Like I said earlier, it's not my favourite film, but here it's kind of really surprised me. It's not Velvia, granted, but the tones, the nice sort of pastel-y tones, the pinks that have come out in the sky and the water, I'm really pleased with this. The scanner has done a fantastic job of scanning this image. The sharpness is just unbelievable, and being able to do this in one sweep is just makes up for years of trying to scan with a DSLR. The lights are on, which is good, but there's quite a few people there, and there's some ugly tables and chairs out there at the moment. Okay, let's move on to the main event. So I'm hoping this kind of works out, but we shall see. So this is the main frontage of the pier that I'm going to shoot. You can see it's all nice and colourful. Lights have come up. It's a bit of a shame that the top pier light isn't lit up, but I don't think that matters too much. So this is what I could have done with a little step ladder, is I'm trying to keep the verticals vertical. Well, either a step ladder or a nice Shanghai with movements, which would make life a lot easier. It's not actually too bad, which is good. Need to check my focus. I'm going to start shooting in a minute then, because the light's dropping pretty quick. So compositionally it's pretty nice, quite tight, which is what I wanted. Put in the frame. Really suits the panoramic crop, which is good, or the panoramic format. It's alright, I'm not taking anything yet. I'm still farting about. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this compositionally. It's really suits the panoramic format, which is what I thought. The lights look good. I mean, it's a very worn building, but that's kind of the idea. I'm just hoping this film actually lives up to what I think it's going to do. So one last check, and then we should be good to go. A little bit unsure of the focus on the left and right hand side. Just want to make sure that I've got enough depth of field there to cover that.
Good score tonight, mate.
It's looking nice, yeah. So I'm pointing the other way. So I'm going to meter off the sky first, just to see what that's given me. So that's about 4 seconds in the sky. And I'm also going to meter off one of the boards in the foreground there, which is basically giving me the same reading, which is good. That's what I want, and it nicely balances up then with the ambient and the artificial light. I've just got to wait for a slight gap in the people now, which I'm not too concerned about, but it would be nice to have it nice and clear, but I don't think that's going to happen. So the fewer people the better, ideally. So we have a gap. Okay, final frame, which is a bit tricky now. It's got quite a bit darker, but they have moved the tables on the right hand side, but I think it's going to be too dark. These fluorescent tubes around the outer edge of the building are going to blow out, I think, but it's worth a try. So, not getting good vibes about this. I don't think. Maybe the first shot has worked, but I'm not too sure. So there's a lot of people wandering around. And like I say, the lights now are very bright compared to the sort of signage at the back. So I don't think this is going to work, but who knows. Despite my concerns, I'm really pleased with this shot. I took 4 frames of this. This is the second frame. The first one, a random skateboarder kind of went through and spoilt the shot. And the last 2 frames, it got too dark, and exposure wise it just wasn't working. So this was the second frame. I just love zooming in again. The scan detail on this with the Epson V850 is just unbelievable. You can see all the details through the window, the guy sort of at the counter there, all the little games and things inside. It's just a great shot. Really pleased with this. The only problem with this shot is on the right hand side. You can see there was a flag, and because of the long exposure it's kind of blurred the flag, and there was somebody stood there, but other than that I was pretty lucky. The colour, again with Ektar, I wasn't expecting much, but this is pretty good. I'm quite impressed. Whether it's down to the scanning, I'm not sure, but yeah, a good result for Ektar. Okay, so 2 rolls of film for tonight. Get these off and processed. So that's me done for tonight. I think I'll definitely revisit this at different times just to see what it's like, especially at dawn, and maybe later in the year when it's not so busy. But hopefully something's come out from this shoot, but if not, that's fine. It's been a good exercise. I know that this works in panoramic format, which is good. So for now, I'm going to pack up and go home. Thank you for watching this one. Hopefully see you on the next.